Hello everybody, this is Justin from KQS, and today I am reviewing the Razer Sabertooth. So before I actually start on the Razer Sabertooth, let me give you a history lesson. This is the Razer Onza. This is probably one of the worst premium controllers that you can ever buy. I mean, it did have some really good ideas. The remappable buttons are up top here. The face buttons right here have like this really tiny low profile, which basically means like before, like with regular Xbox controllers, like you have to press down a lot. This is just very clicky, very fast, rapid fire or whatever you could do. Quick time events, great. It did also have the adjustable tension in your analog sticks, which was a good idea. I mean, righty tighty, as you can hear, it just clicks. And it can be either as tight or as loose as you want. The D-pad was okay. I mean, it's just basically 4 buttons. The triggers weren't so bad. And you basically had a rated 12-foot cable. So, what was the problem with this controller? Number one, this controller has absolutely zero durability. Basically, mostly because of the adjustable tension in the sticks, they always wear out first. I mean, this is actually my second Onza I bought. I personally stopped using mine, mostly due to the fact that, well, number one, I never found this controller to be like amazing. Like the sticks and it's really annoying. Like listen to how mechanical and loud those are. But the thing that really kept me away was simply reading a lot of Amazon reviews. Like I've actually heard some people, they've actually had 6 of these. They've had to call Razer support 6 times and get 6, they had to get 6 of them because the thing sucked so bad. So now that you know Razer's past and their extreme failures of a controller, we will now see if the Sabertooth is actually worth it. So first things first, as you can see, this is the premium controller line. This is $80, and this thing will get you, number one, it will give you a really nice case. I mean, this thing is pretty tough. I mean, yeah, it's not going to stop an elephant like from crushing this thing, or you step on it, but this is a great case. First thing what we're going to do, let's open this thing up. And of course you got the Razer green, really bright neon green. And voila. This is the Razer Sabertooth sitting in its own respective little pouch. Nice foam to hold it in. So let me put my screwdriver back real quick. So let's actually take a look at the Razer controller itself. And I will tell you one thing. This thing is built 50 times more durable than the Onza. And to be honest, that's not saying much because the Onza was a piece of crap. So, well, you do get these little gel silicone analog stick covers, but let's take a look at the analog stick itself. As you can see, it's like a concave. It's pretty much like the new Xbox 360 controllers, like a very concave design to it. The D-pad looks like a PS3, which me personally, I kind of like. I mean, I love my PS3. The face buttons, they're still very low profile, and you can just like click these really fast. But they're raised up just a little bit. So the sticks are really good. I mean, the sticks are very it's kind of hard to be like, oh, they're Xbox 360 style. I mean, they feel like an Xbox 360 stick, which is good. That's good for quality. So up here, give me a sec. I'll show that in a sec once I actually plug it in. But this is like your little onboard memory, little computer or whatever. You can basically remap buttons. And now well, pretty much the left and right bumpers, pretty much the same. Very clicky, I love. The triggers are pretty standard. Though these little buttons right here, these are your remappable buttons. And the nice thing about this is, the biggest problem of the Onza originally, because there are basically two of your left bumpers right there, I would always constantly hit the wrong one, which sucked. So now they're in a better, more ergonomic spot. You can just kind of rest them here. And of course they have a detachable cable, which I personally love. So on the back you have these, and they look like funky triggers, but these are your other remappable buttons. So as you can see, there's 6. And yeah, it looks like one trigger, but how it works is you pull it down, or you pull it up. So you can just like go rock it back and forth if you really wanted to. So that's your remappable buttons. So the cool thing about this is it has a little detachable cable to it. And first thing you really want to make sure is you see that line. Line up that with the controller. And so what you got to do is you just kind of wiggle it in there. It goes in perfectly, and you just screw it in. Personally, I love these because we live in a wireless age, and there's nothing really fun about wrapping controllers like this. And then when it's braided, it gets worse, honestly. So as you can see up front, you got the little Razer OLED screen here, and you can do a lot of cool things. By default, the buttons light up. I personally don't like that, so what I tend to do is, actually, this is your profile buttons. You can actually have 2 profiles, so if you have one remappable button for Call of Duty, one for Halo, whatever, pick your poison. So you can just basically switch back with 2 profiles. So I'll just switch on profile 1, and this second button is your programming buttons. So how you basically program the remappable buttons on top, like so. This, I'm gonna hold down this one on the right, and it's set to the B button. So I can basically set that to A, and it'll rumble. B, and you just basically push whatever button. You can even set it to the trigger if you want to. I don't know why, but you can. So I'm just going to set it back to B. And you basically use the up on the D-pad. And like me, as I said, I don't like the lights on. So you just hit A, and then hit A again to confirm, rumbles, and I don't have annoying lights in my face. So you can also do a lot of other things. Like, you can test it, which kind of pointless, really. You can turn off the rumble if you're really hardcore about it. Off the backlights. You can also reprogram your sticks. If you click on the sticks, you can see this little thing that says the sensitivity. You can basically adjust that up and down. Personally, it's a little pointless because, well, let's face it, you can basically adjust your sensitivity in game. I will admit, having 6 remappable buttons is pretty much overkill. There's a little bit of method to the madness, I guess you could say. If you don't want to have overkill, if you just want the 2 up top, these are actually removable, which are kind of nice because, well, let's face it, sometimes overkill is not the best approach.
To be honest, since this controller has remappable buttons, and I usually fix them to the ABXY, this controller really doesn't have any strengths or weaknesses in certain games. Every FPS, it pretty much works well because every game uses the face buttons. I don't know why though, I see more people gravitating to this as a Call of Duty controller. For one big reason, rapid fire. Sabertooth lets you map the buttons to anything, even the same button twice. So what I did is 2 options. One, I put the left and right, the bottom left and right buttons as the right trigger, and you just alternate back and forth. You do need to get the rhythm down, but you can sort of achieve rapid fire, not very often though. The second option is using the whole complete right side as the right trigger. It works great with rapid fire, but as you can see in an actual game, I have zero control and it's really sloppy. So really, if you do get it and play COD, I kinda do suggest these. It's just a matter of rhythm with better control, or just rapid fire with absolutely none at all. Razer had a lot of problems in the past with its Onza controller. What was great in theory equaled crap quality. But the second try, Razer has actually learned from its mistakes. They upped the quality, 10, 50 times over. I know I'm exaggerating there, but they really had ergonomics in mind. Adding 4 more perfectly placed remappable buttons gives you a real advantage over all the others. And it's not just great for FPS games, it's actually a really good all-around controller, and I totally recommend it. Okay, that's the end of the review. Hope you all enjoyed it. Just thumbs up and subscribe for more reviews and randomness. Again, this is Justin from KQS, and until we meet again, comrades.